on expenditure and expenditure rationalization, there are many ways of achieving fiscal consolidation and fiscal balance that do not involve cutting expenditures on health and education, that do not involve cutting expenditure on basic investments. Because I would like us to do fiscal stability, fiscal consolidation, while maintaining growth and maintaining support to our populations, while supporting our human capital. We are a development institution. We are not a development institution. We care about growth. We care about human capital. We care about social protection. We care about health. We care about education, about infrastructure. And those are things that should be protected. So how can you achieve fiscal consolidation while protecting those? You look at your expenditures, what kind of expenditures are unnecessary, and try to reduce them. And very importantly, look at your domestic resource mobilization. Actually, Kenya is doing better than many African countries, but not good enough compared to other countries around the world on domestic resource mobilization. Kenya's domestic resource revenue to GDP is around 15.5%, which is better than many countries. But it's obviously way too low to meet the development objectives of the country. And therefore, I would be recommending, rather than cutting health, is to improve resource mobilization. Okay, so on the debt, it is true that debt is an important issue in Africa, and I worry about the increase in indebtedness in Africa. And I have to say, there is a very simple rule of thumb. If a country wants to avoid having a debt crisis, you need to make sure that the cost of borrowing is lower than your return on the investment. Countries get into debt crises when they're borrowing at high interest rates and they're investing in projects with low returns. And this is really the crux of the matter. It is not just how much debt you have, but what is the cost of that debt. And it's not just how much debt you have, but what uses have you put this money to? And what rates of return are you getting from that money? So I think that this is really, and I believe that we in Africa, we really need to look at this issue carefully and make sure that we need to have borrowing strategies, debt strategies that are careful and looking at what is the price that we're paying for this debt. And we need to have investment planning and public investment strategies that really look at what are the returns on those projects that we are financing.